What's up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers. These are my final thoughts for UFC Vegas 27. Really looking to get right back into it. Hopefully bouncing back from the disaster of last week. Hopefully you guys made it out alive. It was a really rough card, but yeah, feeling pretty good about this card and feeling really good about the next card as well. Was able to look into that yesterday, get out 3 early bets for next card. So yeah, feeling pretty good. Have a decent amount of action for this card. I think it's a great Draftkings card as well. And yeah, I'm ready to go. Before we get started, if you guys can leave a like on the video, that would be well appreciated. Also, subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Going to be going live 1 hour prior to the prelims tomorrow, which I think the prelims start at 4 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. So I'll be going live at 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. So tune in then. Do want to shout the sponsor, Pub Sports Radio. Go ahead over there and hit the sub. Tons of content over there. I'm over there on Tuesdays, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. And they are live right now doing the Bellator. So if you want to head over there, check that out as well for the Bellator card tonight. What's up, everybody in the chat? What's up, Dustin? Big Brain. What's up, my guy? What's up, Dustin? How you doing? Lewis says, let's go. I have a crazy parlay on Jan, Rothwell, McGee, Kulabao, Medeiros, and Ismagulov. Hopefully this night treats me as well as the last one. Good luck to you. That's a big payout there if it hits. A big fan. Let's go from Brady. From hope you're good, buddy. Sorry, I can't read. This Friday night live stream is becoming a regular for me. Appreciate that, Kyle. Appreciate you hanging out. Uncle Weezy fired up to get into this card. Hardest working man DFS right here. Appreciate that, Uncle Weezy. Let's see what we got here. Let's get it, Big Brady. Let's get it. Indeed, John. What's up? XL Melon. I like it. This card is whack. It's kind of whack, but I do think there's some good opportunities to make some money. But yeah, it is kind of whack. Uncle Rafi, sub Brady, supporting you all the way. F the haters. I agree. Brett Johns kneecapping all those Bellator parlays early. Yep. I do have one Bellator parlay this week. It's a mixture of a Bellator and the UFC card here. So I'll talk about that as well. Got to appreciate the early start for us European fans. Yeah, there you go. I like the early start as well myself. Let's get done this week. Yeah, last week was crazy. Last week was crazy to say the least, man. It was insane. Let's go, Brady. We have a winning week coming up. I agree. Let's win some money, brother. I agree. What's up, Austin? Yo, Brady, don't sweat the crappy comments from the casuals. You're the man. Yeah, you can't sweat it too much. There's some weird people out there, though. All good. Good spots on this card. Let's go. I agree there is, and we will get into it. Don't know how many people are going to... But can't believe Brady didn't. I recognize the Ireland flag. I recognized it. I think. I don't know. My bad. But I'm part Irish. I think. What's up, Danger? How you doing? All right, so we'll get into the first fight of the night. We have Damir Ismagulov going against Rafael Alves. Ismagulov is the biggest favorite on the card, and I actually thought the line was going to shift more as the week went on, but it kind of just stays here. And I get it. Rafael Alves is a very dangerous opponent. I don't think he's on the level of Ismagulov, but he is dangerous nonetheless. So I kind of expected the line to get, honestly, like around the minus 700 range. He is going to be the first leg of my parlay. I parlayed him at minus 530, and he's currently like minus 545, minus 600 in some books. So yeah, not as bad as I thought it would get, but he's going to be the first leg of my parlay. 9,500 on DraftKings. It is a little steep. He has been to a decision in all 3 of his UFC fights, but I think he has a really good chance of finishing this fight here. Rafael Alves, you take a look at him. He's never lost by decision. 9 losses, all of them coming by finish. I've seen him knock down a million times. I've seen him tire out a million times. His cardio is not great, but he's very dangerous, especially early as the fight goes on. As the fight goes on, he does slow down a ton. So I think that Ismagulov is very live for a finish in the later rounds if Alves does indeed slow down. That's kind of how I'm leaning. I think Ismagulov probably gets him out of there in that 3rd round, although Ismagulov hasn't shown to be a finisher as of late. I think this is an opportunity that he can get a finish. Ismagulov by decision, minus 125. If you think he does continue his decision streak, not a horrible line, but I personally think he has a really good chance of knocking him out here as the fight goes on. Alves, if you're on the Alves side, I think there's some really, decent props. Alves round 1 sub could be something to look at. Alves round 1 KO could be something to look at. But outside of the round 1, I don't really see Alves winning. I think Ismagulov's better pretty much everywhere the fight goes, you got to give Alves the grappling advantage. But even then, Ismagulov has really good takedown defense. I think he does keep it standing and piece apart Alves on the feet. And like I said, I think that finish does come later in the fight. But he's going to be my first leg in my parlay. We'll talk about the other leg in a little bit, but, feeling pretty comfortable about that. I had a great last week. Thanks. No problem. I'm glad you did well. Did anyone catch Ben Rothwell's weigh-in? I'm not sure I feel about betting on Ben. Yeah, I saw him. He didn't look, horrible, but he didn't look great as well. Oh, Brady, yes, sir. What's up, John? Shut up, Austin. Conor McGregor would be disappointed. Yeah, he would. Do you think Demir is worth using on a DraftKings? I think cash is fine for sure. What's up, Vince? Brady Mob? I agree. But yeah, should be a good first fun fight of the night. You guys know how I am with DraftKings in the first fight of the night. It's somehow, no matter who it is, always find its way in the optimal lineup. So I don't know. I think it's gonna be very low owned. I haven't done the ownership projections yet. I'm about to once I get off here, but I do expect Damir Ismagulov to be decently low owned, especially in tournaments. But the person asking about cash, I think is a solid cash game play. All right, getting into the next fight, we have Damir Hadzovich going against Yancy Medeiros, and there was a prop that really stuck out to me. We'll kind of get into the finish stats here. You take a look at Hadzovich, 77% finish rate, 54% by knockout, 23% by submission. So he is finishing over half of his wins by knockout. You have Yancy Medeiros, who has an 80% finish rate, 53% by knockout, 27% by submission. He is finishing over half his wins by knockout. Take a look at Hadzovich. In 6 losses, he's been knocked out once. He's been submitted once. Medeiros, in 6 losses, he has been knocked out 3 times and submitted once. I think there's a solid chance for a finish in this fight. And I saw a prop that really stuck out to me, and I pulled the trigger. It's the under 2.5. I saw it at plus 140. I thought that line was way off. Plus 140. I put 1 unit on it. I'm not sure what it is now, but it looks like that line has been getting hit all week. You now see the fight doesn't get to decision at minus 115. So the under is probably around like minus 100, plus 100, plus 105, around that line there, which I still don't think is bad. I think there's a really good chance there's a finish. I think both the guys are going to stand and bang until one man falls. I would like to see Medeiros use that ground game, get some takedowns, because Hadzovich has a horrible takedown defense, but it's just not something he's done in his career. So I'll pick Medeiros to win, but I'm just going to be rooting for a finish. Like plus 140 for the under, I really, really do like. I think there's a solid chance there is a finish. But as far as picking winner, I'll go Medeiros. As far as DraftKings goes, I think this is a fight that's going to go overlooked a little bit. I think it has potential to score really well. I like the output of Medeiros, and I think both guys are capable of getting a finish here. So give me Medeiros for the win, but ultimately I do like the under a little bit more, especially at the plus 140 line. But where it's at now, it's still, I don't think it's a bad bet. Let's see what we got here. Let's put the women and children to sleep, and let's go looking for dinner. Blingy is back again. I like it. Appreciate that, Blingy, for the donation. Hopefully you made it out alive last week. Alves will gas probably. I think there's a very good chance he does gas. Mir should get it done here for sure. He's a dark horse at 55. Very technically sound, both offensively and defensively. I agree. The only thing that worries me is going to be that layoff. Other than that, not many worries. What fight is most likely to fade altogether on DraftKings? We're going to bounce back big from last week. And yeah, if I was going to fade a fight, it would probably be, well, it was going to be the Dvorak fight, but he got a new opponent. So I guess it'd have to be the co-main, Jan and Esparza. Tamir should be fine for cash. I'm not so sure for GPP. The only thing I'll say is he's going to be very low owned, but there's a good chance he does win by decision. I'm watching your picks very closely after last week. Yeah, watch them. Hopefully some good picks this week. It was very tense. Yeah, the Yancy was tense for sure. Talked about that a little bit. Probably the co-main. Such a wildcard fight. Under is solid if I had to play it, but I wish everyone playing a side the best of luck. Yeah, really hard to pick a side, but I do like that under. Appreciate you, Kyle, for the donation. Please never forget the flag again, Brady. I won't ever forget it. Ismagulov allows only 0.86 DK points per minute. Phenomenal numbers, yeah, for sure. Very defensively sound. In his 3 UFC fights, he has a 69% striking defense. You just don't see numbers like that. Hey, man, looked at the Cyborg fight at all? Yes, I did. Worth lumping a lot on her. Well, I have her in one of my parlays, which we'll talk about. I got her around like the minus 1,300, 400 range. She's like minus 3,000. Now, if you got a book where you see her at like minus 1,000, sure, I think there's a good chance she wins. But at like minus 3,000, there's just no point. But I do like Cyborg to get the job done. All right. We have Josh Kulabao going against Shahilan. Kulabao 9,100 on DraftKings. Shahilan is 7,100. Weird fight. Very weird fight. It seems like everybody's on Kulabao, including me. I've seen nobody picking Shahilan, and the line has just stayed pretty much the same all week. Even some money's coming in on the Shahilan line here. You see Kulabao opening up plus 275, currently minus 245. Shahilan opening up plus 215, currently plus 225. So, yeah, interesting. You take a look at Shahilan making his UFC debut at the weigh-ins. He looked phenomenal. I'll give him that. Kulabao looked pretty good himself. It's just a lot of question marks in this fight. You take a look at Shah on the regional scene. He actually looks pretty solid. It's just hard to, gauge his level of competition. He's faced a lot of, very poor competition. When he did fight Rong Zhu, who we saw, a couple weeks ago, Rong Zhu was able to knock him out in like a minute and a half, 2 minutes there. I think Shah is somewhat live. I'm definitely not going to leave Kulabao out of my parlays. I think there's a ton of great parlay pieces on this card. I think Kulabao is probably not one of them. I'll stick with Kulabao. I just don't really feel great about it. He has fought the much better competition. He has some power in his hands, good striker. But, there's a lot of question marks with this Shahilan guy. But I'll take Josh Kulabao. As far as DraftKings goes, there's a much other better plays I like in that 9,000 range. So I'm not going to have too much Kulabao. Could come back to bite me, but I'd rather, take the $2,000 savings, take some flyers on Shahilan. I think there's a lot of unknowns with this guy. Maybe surprises a lot of people. But yeah, the line movement on this one's kind of weird. Seems like everybody's picking Kulabao, but that line is getting closer and closer as the fight week goes on, and probably should, man. I mean, Kulabao, I don't think he's all that great in my opinion, but I do think he gets it done probably by decision. But like I said, I'm going to leave him out of my parlays this week. Where are you picking props? DK doesn't have prop options. FanDuel and BetOnline, mostly some Bovada as well. Which fighters are most likely to win by decision? Whoever you like in the co-main probably wins by decision. I don't know. I think there's gonna be a lot of finishes. Like I said, whoever wins in the co-main probably by decision. Spencer, Bruno Silva, and Ismagulov parlay. I like that. I like it. Need a 4-leg parlay for the card. What do you got? If I had to do a 4-legger, I'd do Ismagulov. I would do Bruno Silva. I would do Ben Rothwell, and I would do the co-main goes the distance. Yeah, I do. We'll talk about that soon, though. There's just not enough solid tape on this guy to make a good assumption, not to mention competition is questionable. Kulabao by KO, but definitely a pass. Yeah, I'm with you. Pass is probably the best option. Which upset do I like the most? I don't know. I think Shah, like I said, live. I think that Vandera's live in a way. I think Esparza's live. If I had to pick one, I'd probably say Vandera. Even then, I'm not betting it. Kulabao, KO or decision. Shahilan will gas. I can see it. Hermansson versus Shahbazian, under 2 or over 2. I say the under. Is the guy fighting Dvorak any good? He looks all right, but we'll talk about it more. Was able to watch a couple fights on him, a couple amateur fights. I think I was able to watch 2 of his pro fights, but he's not terrible. What's up, Joseph? Hey, Brady, you're the man. Thanks for all the great content you always put out. No problem, Joseph. Thanks for watching. Really do appreciate that. All right, so we'll get into the next fight. If you guys can hit the like before we do so, that would be much, much appreciated. One small like always goes a long way. In this fight, I do have quite a bit of action on it. So we're going to round out that parlay here. And I know it's pretty chalky, especially where the line's at now, but I got a pretty good line on it. I got Ismagulov parlay with Bruno Silva, 2 units, got it at -162. I really like that line. Where it's at now, more so because of the Bruno Silva line movement, I think you can get it around -200, which still I think it's safe as can be, an MMA fight. But I do think there's a good chance of it hitting. So I do have 2 units on that. It's going to be my biggest play of the night. And then I also have 1.5 units on the fight. Doesn't go to decision at -150. That is currently -205. So that line got smashed as well. But you can pretty much still look at the under for, I don't know, the under 2.5 is probably -160, -170. So even then, I like that as well. We'll talk about why. So first of all, Victor Rodriguez, he's never been to a third round. He's obviously never been to a decision. He has finished all of his wins, all coming by knockout, I believe. And he's been finishing all 3 of his losses, 2 by knockout, 1 by submission. And he's gotten finished by some very, very questionable guys. He's beaten some very, very questionable guys. And I think Bruno Silva is extremely, extremely underrated. You take a look at Bruno Silva. Yes, he did lose 3 in a row. And then you take a look at, some of the guys that he's losing to. He lost to Khalid Taha, got submitted. He lost to David Dvorak, who's on the card, who's very good, by decision. And then he lost by decision against Tagir Ulanbekov, a great prospect, that was a really, really close fight. Very, very close fight. A lot of people thought that, Silva even could have won that fight. But, those are the guys he's losing to. And then he got a step down in competition against JP Bays and torched him. Knocked him down 3 times. Got him out of there in that second round. And I think this is honestly a step down from Bays. I know people are probably very, very low on Bays right now, but I really do think that Bays probably finishes Rodriguez in the first round, to be honest. But yeah, this is a fight that Silva should win. I think the line's fair. Opened up -265. I parlayed him at -278. And he's currently around that, -370. So yeah, it's getting wider. Probably, could even be wider, personally, think so. But I do expect him to get it done, and I expect him to get a finish within the first 2 rounds. So I like the under. I like the under. The under covers both sides. If Rodriguez wins, it's probably a first-round knockout. If Silva wins, it's probably a first or second-round knockout or submission. I think you can get either. Silva by submission plus 505. Interesting. Rodriguez has been sub before. Silva's a black belt. But I do like that under. I do like the fight doesn't get the decision. As far as Draftkings goes, 9,300, very expensive, but I think he has great finishing potential. I think if he wants to get the takedowns, he gets them. I think he can get control time. I think get a submission, get some knockdowns in there. If you're looking for a dog, Rodriguez 6,900. If he does win, it's going to be in the first round. More than likely, it's going to be a finish. So maybe throw a little bit of Rodriguez in there for like a dog play, pump play. But I do think Silva gets it done. One of my more confident picks on the slate as well. I love the 4-leg parlay Brady just give out. I have the exact same one. There you go, Uncle Weezy. Hopefully it hits for you. Bruno going to be very high owned on DraftKings at 9,300. Think better options at that range. Yes, he'll be very high owned as well. And in that range, you got Ismagulov, you got Kulabao, you got Tafa, you got Rothwell, you have Hermansson. Yeah, he's probably one of my favorite up in that range. Big on the fight doesn't get to decision. 4 units at -160. Nice line there. Very nice line. And Bruno inside the distance, 1.5 units at -110. Best value lines on the card. Let's get it. I agree with you there. I do like that fight doesn't get the decision quite a bit. What's up, King Shelly? How you doing? Love the channel, man. Keep the great work. Appreciate that, King Shelly. Fight of the night prediction is probably going to be that main event. I was thinking maybe the Dvorak fight, but now with a new opponent, probably not anymore. Algeo Ramos could be fight of the night as well. Silva lock. Don't like saying locks, but I do think he wins. What's up, Ron? Shout out Brady. What a big brain. What's going on, Ron? How you doing? Who wins in the rematch between Masvidal and Ben Askren? Masvidal. Silva has literally been fighting a very decent competition, and the second he gets a step down and he knocks down Bays like 3 times and finishes him, now he's facing a chinny non-UFC guy. I love this spot. Yeah, I'm right there with you. Right there with you. If Silva loses, I'm not betting next week. I'm right there with you. No, just kidding. But I do think he gets it done. Chris Barnett with a 360 roundhouse standard. Sorry. Chris Barnett. Yeah, we'll talk about him soon. But we have the next fight. Claudia Silva going against Court McGee. Yeah, very interesting live movement here because you take a look at the Tapology predictions and it's like 90% is on Claudia Silva. He opens up minus 185. He's currently plus 100. McGee opened up plus 155 and he's currently minus 110. So if you're on the Silva side here, I would look at that first round prop. I would look at that first round sub prop because the guy has about a couple minutes of cardio. We saw in his last fight, we saw in plenty of fights where he does slow down as the fight goes on. And I just didn't think he looked great in his last fight at all. He's getting up there in age, 38 years old, about to be 39. The cardio is a very big concern. And if he does not get you out of there early, he definitely could be in some trouble. Court McGee, somebody that's looked terrible as of late himself, but he's still having some competitive fights. He's losing, but he's having some pretty competitive fights. And this is a matchup where I think it's a solid matchup for Court McGee. He's going to need to survive that first round. But if he does, I think he wins that round 2 and round 3 pretty clearly, but he's going to have to survive that early storm. What I like about Court McGee is he has a ton of fights. I think it's like 29 fights. In 29 fights, Court McGee has never been submitted. I do like seeing that. You go back and look at his fights. Takedown defense on paper is not great, 63%, but he's very hard to hold down. Brady was able to take him down 2 times, had less than a minute of control time. Alex Garcia took him down once. Sean Strickland took him down 3 times. Other than that, he hasn't really been taken down by Ryan LaFleur 4 times. Other than that, not really been taken down. And he's very hard to hold down. But of course, there is that concern of Silva getting that first round sub. But if not, I think Silva is going to be in big trouble. I think the cardio is not there. I think Court McGee can stuff the takedowns as the fight goes on and just piece him up on the feet. I think Court McGee, not the most talented fighter, but I do think he's, has some really important attributes. Is going to be that cardio, is going to be that output, and I think he has the much better striking as well. But yeah, I like Court McGee here. So I did have a bet on him. I got him at 1 unit plus 100. I got it right before the line flip. Didn't expect the line to get too crazy because I know a lot of people are on the Claudio Silva side. But I mean, if Silva submits him in the first round, that's fine. But I do think that's lower percentage than the line does indicate. And I think Silva does survive that first round. He probably loses the first round, but after that, I do think he wins those second 2 pretty clearly there. So give me Court McGee plus 100, 1 unit on it. As far as DraftKings, I actually like the Silva side a little bit more because if he does win, it's probably in that first round. It's probably a first round submission. If Court McGee wins, he probably loses that first round. He probably, gets no takedowns. He's going to get no control time. He's going to piece Silva up on the feet for the next 2 rounds. I just don't see him scoring well. But Silva, if he does win, it probably does score well. So on DraftKings, I'm looking at Silva. But as far as a bet, I'm looking at the McGee side there. And I wish there wasn't 2 Silvas on this card. It gets really confusing, especially since they're fighting back-to-back. Court McGee looked good on the weigh-ins. Yes, sir, he did. I'm sorry to hear that, Julal. Hopefully your life gets better, man, and hopefully you do win some money. What's up, guys? What's the parlay of the week? Already gave out a parlay, the Ismagulov parlayed with Bruno Silva. McGee is too experienced to not let this dude gas out. You got to survive that first round. I think it's his fight. What's up, Jan? How you doing? I'm here to watch it live. Like always, appreciate you. Yancey, no Jim Medeiros. Yeah, Chin's a little questionable. Brady, what's the Condit versus Silva line? MMA math are the fights tonight. What? The fights are tomorrow. Condit versus Silva. I think Silva would easily. I don't want to say easily, but I think Silva would have a lot of success against Condit. Potentially get him out there in that first round. Court should have this volume, cardio, better striker, good takedown defense, never been subbed. Silva didn't even shoot that many against Kraus. 0.75 units at plus 110. Let's get it. Good number there. I wish I got that. McGee by decision plus 190. What do you think? I like it. Something else I was looking at. but I just took it straight just in case because I think a McGee late finish wouldn't surprise me if Silva really did gas out. I feel like McGee doesn't care much about winning. That's not sure what it looks like, huh? I mean, he loses a ton. It's just like another day at the gym for a paycheck. Could be. Court also needs to win here too, and this is just a good stylistic matchup for him. Yeah, I agree. If Claudio keeps shooting takedowns, Court's going to make it difficult and will cause him to gas. Yeah. Just survive that first round. I think he does win this fight. Brady, thanks for all the research you do and share. Appreciate that, Vince. Anytime, man. All right. We'll get to the next fight. We have, oh my goodness, the people's main event. Ben Rothwell going against Chris Barnett. Yeah, Ben Rothwell opened up minus 245, and Chris Barnett opened up plus 185, and Ben Rothwell is now minus 345. So everybody's putting Rothwell in their parlays. And yeah, I can see why. I mean, Rothwell, he's 39 years old. He hasn't been looking great, but I think the skill gap between the two fighters is just, ginormous. This is going to be Rothwell's easiest fight in years. And I would be shocked if he does not come out here and finish Chris Barnett. Like, I would be shocked. It'd be embarrassing to take this guy to decision. I mean, Barnett's a very exciting fighter, but he's 5'9". He's a 5'9" heavyweight. You just don't see that ever. And Ben Rothwell is 6'4". 6'4", he's going to have a massive height advantage. He's going to have a reach advantage as well. Going to have a power advantage. Barnett probably has that speed advantage, but I do think Rothwell has him covered everywhere. The experience edge is just crazy. Rothwell's been fighting, the way better level of competition by a mile. And like I said, I'd be, really shocked if Ben Rothwell took this guy to a decision. You take a look at Rothwell. When he wins fights, he's finishing them. 90% finish rate, which is the second best on the entire card. 58% by knockout, 32% by submission. I think a knockout's live. I think a submission's live. If this fight touches the mat, I think Rothwell gets a submission pretty easily. Barnett gives up his back every single time he goes to the mat. So, yeah, I think the submission's live. I think the knockout's live. I think the finish live is live as a whole. Barnett never been submitted. Barnett has been finished in half his losses, 3 by knockout. I think Ben gets rid of him here in probably the first or second round. But, yeah, it'd be a shame if he took this guy to decision. So it's not often you get heavyweight fights, with the over-under set at 2.5. It's not often we see that. I think it's probably juiced now, but I think the under 2.5 could be something to look at. The fight doesn't get the decision, minus 215. Probably look at the under a little bit more, but I took a shot on Ben Rothwell inside the distance. I got him at 1 unit, plus 115. I really think he finishes this guy. I think the line got smashed a little bit. I think the line's like minus 120 for Rothwell to win inside the distance, which I think's fair. I mean, Rothwell on the money line's close to minus 400 on some books. He's a heavyweight, 90% finishing rate. Levels and levels away from Barnett. I think he's levels above him. I think he does get a finish here. So I do like that plus money shot at the win inside the distance. As far as the DraftKings goes, 9,200, I do like it quite a bit. I think first round finish potential, second round finish. Just think he does get Chris Barnett out of here. And if he doesn't, he should take his gloves right off, walk into the middle of the octagon, and set him down and probably just walk away. But hopefully Ben Rothwell does get it done inside the distance. Yo, Brady, thanks for your videos. No cap, bless. No problem. Jeffrey, thanks for watching. I hated hearing the hate from last week on your breakdown video. You're one of the best in the business, and it made me some good money over the years. Screw the haters, man. Appreciate that, J-Rob. Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of support. I think the support, definitely outweighs the haters. So just got to think of it that way, I think. Max bet Barnett, JK. I really hope he wins so he can start doing his trademark breakdancing as a celebration. Yeah, this guy's he's the heavyweight Michelle Pereira. It's pretty hilarious. Why not add Rothwell to the parlay? Go for it. Go for it. I played him at the plus 115 inside the distance, but I don't hate him as a parlay piece. Big losses last week, but I'm feeling good this week. Let's go. I'm right there with you. Bet getting 360 roundhouse to Rothwell. I don't think he could reach Rothwell's head. Rothwell feels like a really safe bet. If this were a breakdancing contest, I'd pick Barnett. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I took the under 2.5 minus 164. Yeah, great line there. Great line. Heavyweights, yeah, everything and anything can happen, but I don't think Barnett's a legit heavyweight. The dude's 5'9". Brady, I bet my lunch money on Jan. Am I cooked? I wouldn't say so. I think there's a better way to bet that fight. We'll talk about it, but I think Jan wins as well. I'm just not comfortable with it. I can't believe Barnett is a UFC fighter. Yeah, it's because Ben's been trying to find a fight. He was supposed to have a different opponent. He was supposed to have Philippe Lins, and they finally gave him Chris Barnett to step up on short notice. I say picking Ben. Think of this as a trap. No, I do not. Rothwell slow starter feels like an over spot. Yeah, everybody's going to be touching the over 1.5, which over 1.5 is not terrible. I wouldn't over 2.5 it, though. So close to making Ben inside the distance my biggest play of the year. Goodness, Ron. Goodness, I don't have that much faith in Ben, but yeah, I do like Ben inside the distance. Appreciate that, Jesse. Okay, so we'll get into the next fight here. And yeah, no bet here, but I think this is one of the best fights on the card. Bill Algeo going against Ricardo Ramos, and I think it's a very sneaky fight for DraftKings as well. You have Algeo 8,500, Ramos 7,700. It's just gonna be a fast-paced fight. You have Algeo who lands a ton of significant strikes per minute. I think Ramos is probably like the more skilled fighter, but I really do like what Algeo brings to the table with his output, with his toughness. Algeo can be taken down. He's been taken down like 10 times thus far in 3 fights. I think if this does hit the mat, Algeo is a black belt himself, but I do got to lead in the grappling to Ramos. Just a very, very, very close fight. But ultimately, I do see it scoring well on DraftKings either side. I'm going to have exposure both ways. I like Ramos as an underdog, 7,700. But I think if Algeo wins, it probably could be a finish. Ramos has been finished in all 3 of his losses. The chin is definitely an issue. He does slow down as the fight goes on. 2 knockout losses for Ramos. So, yeah, I think Algeo could be live for a finish. And I think Ramos could be live for takedowns here, control time. So, yeah, tough fight to call. I'm going to slightly take the underdog in Ricardo Ramos. No bet in it at all. I'm going to sit back and watch this one, but from a DraftKings perspective, that's where I definitely have my interest. I think the winner does score pretty decent. As far as the props, Algeo by knockout plus 590. Like that's not bad. We've seen Ramos knocked out twice. Ramos never lost by decision. Algeo by knockout plus 590. That's not bad. Algeo is not submitting Ramos. Ramos by decision plus 250 is not terrible, but I'm going to sit back and watch this one. I think it's going to be one of the more exciting fights on the card. Possible fight of the night. I think it definitely has potential. Pass. No, you're right. He definitely has no neck to submit. But yeah, I agree. Definitely a pass. I'm going to sit back and watch this one. I think there are a ton of better options on the card than Algeo Ramos, but I think it's probably going to be the best fight of the night. I think it's between this and the main event. Uncle Weezy, I'm all over this fight for DK. Algeo is a high output as it gets. Is as high output as it gets? Yes, he is. I think either winner can score very high here, and I think it'll be kind of sneaky as well. So definitely has my interest there. All right, 1 second. All right, excuse me. For DK, this fight looks great. I agree. I like it. All right, we'll get to the next fight here. Jack Hermansson versus Edmund Shahbazian, and we were supposed to see this fight last week. And yeah, it was funny. I bet the under 2.5 last week at minus 160. My book voids my bet because they moved the fight back a week. They voided the bet, and so I had to bet it again this week. Luckily, I was able to get a semi-decent line. A little bit worse line than last week, but still pretty decent. Minus 165 for the under 2.5 rounds, 2 units. I really like that play quite a bit. Going to be my biggest play of the night, tied with my biggest play of the night with that parlay. But yeah, Hermansson, he's been out of the first round 2 times in his career. He has, all of his finishes are in that first round, I do believe. Yeah. He has a decision win. And of course, he did get finished in that 3rd round against Derek Brunson. You take a look at Jack Hermansson, been finished a couple times in his career. He's been getting finished by some, solid guys, Jared Cannonier, Thiago Santos. But still, we've seen him hurt. We saw him get hurt in his last fight against Marvin Vettori, who's not really a power puncher. So I think Shahbazian's very live in that first round. But the problem I have with Shahbazian is what happens if it gets past that first round? The gas tank is a really big concern for Shahbazian. And Hermansson's no slouch. Hermansson is no slouch whatsoever. If Hermansson's able to get down Shahbazian, I think Hermansson's going to have a ton of success. But rather than betting a side here, I think the look is probably going to be the under, especially if you're on the Shahbazian side. The under should be a really good look because if Shahbazian wins, there's a very good chance it's early. And I also think if Jack wins, there's a very good chance that it's in that second round, maybe early third round, because we've seen Edmund slow down a ton after that first round. So as far as the pick goes, I'll take Jack Hermansson to survive the early storm of Edmund Shahbazian. But would it shock me if Edmund knocked him out in the first round? No, it would not. And I'd still be happy because I'd still hit my under there. But I saw a prop on FanDuel that was pretty interesting. If you guys do have the FanDuel Sportsbook, it was Edmund Shahbazian wins by first round knockout plus 600. Like that is, that's probably how he wins, right? First round knockout. I don't really see him winning it any other way, to be honest. So if you're on the Shahbazian side, that's probably a good way to look. Hermansson, I think he could win by submission, but even then, like the submission odds is plus 200. It's not good enough. Also think he could win by ground and pound, but ultimately I do like the under 2.5 minus 165. I'm not sure what it is now. Maybe even at like around the minus 200 mark, it's probably not terrible. Minus 240 fight doesn't get the decision. Not terrible as well. I'd be kind of surprised if this fight did find the distance, especially considering Shahbazian's gas tank and how dangerous he is in that first round. But a fight I want on DraftKings as well. I'm going to have a ton of both sides. I really like Shahbazian 7,300 on DraftKings. Look at that salary savings you're getting with him. Very good underdog. He's going to be very popular, but you really can't ignore the first round upside he has. So I'm going to have a ton of Shahbazian, have a ton of Hermansson as well. If Hermansson does win, it's probably get some takedowns, control time to finish. So a fight that I'd be shocked if it wasn't on the optimal lineup. So good time. Yep, you're right, Vince. What's up, General? How you doing? I got 1.5 units against Cyborg tonight. I hope not. Let's see here. Hermansson inside the distance plus money seems too easy. Yeah, if he survives that first round, I think he could. But I think the under covers both sides. Where is the Justin Tafa fight? It's up there now. I love this fight match. I will have a bit of both. I'm right there with you. I'm gonna have a lot of both. I think the winner does score quite a bit. Plus 800 Joker by submission. Yeah, I see plus 200. So that's a good line. Joker wins in round 2. See at the window. Not sure the odds on that, but I do think if he wins, it's probably in rounds 2 or 3. Junior saying main event going to be a straight up boxing masterclass from Rob Font, jabbing his way around the octagon to a 50-45 unanimous decision win. Wow. Eben, don't hate him as a dog. Yeah, as far as DraftKings, don't hate him as a dog, but I think the under is probably the way to go. The under covers both of the most likely results. Edmund first round KO, Hermansson second round or early third round sub or ground and pound finish. Great bet. That's what I'm thinking as well. Unless Edmund completely changed his game since he's been off, which it's possible. Maybe he did work on that gas tank a little bit, but even then, Edmund's gonna be very dangerous in that first round. And I think if Hermansson does survive it, Hermansson probably does win. Shahbazian be the highest owned underdog on DraftKings. Yes, he will be. Man, I really want to play the under. I'm just nervous. Edmund comes out more tentative, but then again, Jack is going to be in his face from the start. Exactly. I'm worried about that as well. But if he's tentative, Jack's probably going to take him down. Main event under 2 rounds. What do you think? Wouldn't bet on it. I could see it getting extended. I have Hermansson by sub plus 350. Great value, in my opinion. Decent value. I think that's how he wins. How much do you like Dvorak? We'll talk about him right now. All right. Sorry, guys. I'm tired. Done a lot of work today. David Dvorak going against, I don't know if I'm going to pronounce this right, Juan Camilo Ronderos. Just watched a little bit of tape on him before I got on here. Was able to watch 2 of his pro fights, 2 of his amateur fights. Looks to be a wrestler. Looks to really grind. Was not able to see any striking at all. You take a look at the line. Dvorak opened up minus 500, which is interesting. Ronderos did miss weight by 3 pounds, which that's completely okay. He took the fight on less than 24 hours short notice, so that's fine. But still, just considering his style from what I've seen, that's going to be wrestling heavy. How effective is that going to be on 24 hours short notice? I don't think it's going to be great, especially against someone in David Dvorak who has very good takedown defense, very good wrestling himself. Haven't seen striking from Medeiros, but I'm guessing the striking is going to be on a completely different level. Dvorak striking is very good. Just a really tough ask for Ronderos to come in here and fight David Dvorak on this short notice. And stylistically, it does look like a pretty solid matchup for Dvorak. But lots of unknowns. I wish I was able to see the other two of his fights. Maybe I'll be able to take a look at those later today. But I'll go Dvorak still, minus 500. Probably correct. No props yet. We don't have the fight. Doesn't go to decision. Maybe a Dvorak finish. If it's like plus money, I'll definitely have some interest for sure. Dvorak's a pretty solid finisher. Has some solid power. Has a good submission game. I could see Ronderos maybe getting tired, maybe shooting for a takedown, leaving his neck exposed, and Dvorak snatching it up. I could see a submission for Dvorak, and especially I could see a knockout if they do stand for long. Ronderos, if he does come in there with that wrestling-heavy game plan, which that kind of looks like his style, I do think there's a good chance on short notice he does tire out and gas out. I do think Dvorak could finish him. So about an 80% finish rate for Dvorak. Not really sure what they're going to open that inside the distance line for Dvorak, but if it's plus money, I'll probably just pull the trigger there, but I don't know yet. As far as DraftKings at 800, I was going to more than likely have probably not much Dvorak against Paiva, but now that he's fighting Ronderos, definitely have some interest. He's a minus 500 favorite. You're probably going to play some. I think the finish is probably likely here as well. But yeah, lots of unknowns with Ronderos, but I do think stylistically this is probably a good matchup for Dvorak here. Luckily, they were able to find a short notice replacement, so still get to see Dvorak. And Dvorak has not lost in a very, very long time. I'm not sure the correct win streak he's on, but it's been forever since this guy's lost. I'm not sure Juan Camilo Ronderos is the one to take that streak from him. So how much do I like Dvorak? I like him quite a bit. Where is the Justin Tafa fight? It is right here. Justin Tafa versus Jared Vandera. Right up there. Dvorak inside the distance, in my opinion, could be a sneaky play right there with you. Before UFC, he was on a 12-fight finish streak. Wow. Or something like that. They did train together, which is interesting. Yes, they did. I saw a picture of them training together for, I think, a past fight a year ago or something like that. Not sure on the exact date or what fight it was. Dvorak a lock for DraftKings. I'd say he's a lock for cash. I would not say he's a lock for tournaments, but you lock him in your cash games. What's up, David? Good to be back watching the Friday streams. Didn't get to tune in last week. I was traveling to Houston for the fight. Keep up the great work, Brady. Oh, nice. You at the fights. That's awesome. I would love to see some fights in person, hopefully soon, but they keep selling out right away. Every time they open it up, sold out in minutes, it looks like. Ronderos was already training for a Contender Series fight, but Dvorak on 24 hours notice is a huge ask. Really hard to back Ronderos here, even though they train together. I agree. Where is the Justin Tafa fight? We're gonna talk about it. We'll talk about it soon. Where is the Justin Tafa fight? We're gonna talk about that soon. They sparred together. Maybe Ronderos knows Dvorak's weaknesses. A big fade for me. Maybe. Or maybe Dvorak knows his weakness, which is probably that striking. I haven't seen any of the striking. Dvorak is a bad boy. I agree. He's a very bad boy. Dvorak lock, probably. Doing a few Hail Mary lineups on DK with Ronderos. Be like 5% owned. Yeah, nobody's going to have him. Maybe something crazy happens, but going pretty heavy on Dvorak. Otherwise, think he wins. I agree. I'll have some Ronderos and 150 lineups. I'm not going crazy on it. Not on the list. It's right up there. It's the shaded blue. Right here. I'll highlight it. There it is. Don't worry. We'll talk about it. I know you're looking forward to some Tafa Vandera. We all are. We'll talk about it. Pay attention. It's coming. Who cares about Justin Tafa? Yeah, that fight is going to be pretty terrible. You see it now. Dvorak KO plus 250 and sub plus 550 odds from the Czech Republic only yet. So they have the KO at plus 250 and the sub at plus 550. I think either can happen. I can see either happening. So I'd probably look at the inside of the distance, which looks to be might be plus money. Tafa hangs in the pocket a lot, and I love it. Give me that fight finishes by KO. Yeah, don't hate it. Justin Tafa fight starts round 2. Mark my words. Possible. Felicia Spencer by sub and Jack by sub plus 2,500. Dvorak, easy money. Yeah, probably is. He's minus 500, so. What's up, Brady? What's up, Cam? How you doing? All right, so we have about, let's see, we got about 130 in here. If you guys can like that, would be very, very appreciated. I know Bellator is going on, so hard to compete with Bellator, but shout out to all 130 of you guys in here. Really do appreciate you hanging out on a Friday night, as always. I'm going to be going live tomorrow, 1 hour prior to the prelims, which is going to be at, prelims start at 4 p.m. Eastern time, so I'm going to be going live at 3 p.m. Eastern time. Betting breakdown will be out tomorrow as well. Feeling pretty good. Feeling pretty good about this card from a betting perspective and a Draftkings perspective as well. So hopefully bounce back from last week. And then I'm also really looking forward to the next card as well. I was already able to get in some early plays next week. Some very good spots on the next card. Appreciate that, Jan. Yeah, I'll be catching the Bellator main card. I do have some action for it. All right. So we'll get to the next fight. We have Felicia Spencer versus Norma Dumont. I'll go ahead and throw my parlay out here. It's a Bellator mixed with UFC parlay. So the parlay is Felicia Spencer parlayed with Jan Esparza goes to decision, parlayed with Chris Cyborg for plus 115. Like all those spots. I like Spencer. The only thing that kind of creeps me out is that line movement. Open minus 215, where that's probably where I'd put it, around minus 215. Honestly, probably wider. We saw money pour in on the Dumont side for whatever. I don't know why. We saw Spencer as low as minus 140, and I was like, well, man, what's going on? I look into the fight. There are some question marks with Dumont. Haven't seen a ton of her on her back. Haven't seen a ton of her, defending takedowns and all that. But you got to think that Spencer's going to be on a completely different level with the grappling, with the wrestling. I do think Spencer gets Dumont down, wears her out. I think Spencer's going to have the much better gas tank. She's going to be the bigger fighter as well. The striking, it does concern me, but I don't think it's going to be striking for long. I think Spencer's going to close the distance, get this fight down to the mat, hold Dumont against the cage, and grind on her and find a possible submission, maybe a late finish as well. So I do like Spencer. I do have her in that parlay. Honestly, don't hate the money line minus 170. I would love to get it at minus 140, but I do have her in that 3-leg parlay. Spencer is probably, out of those three, the one I'm most concerned about, and even then, I'm not concerned about it. You know what I mean? Jan Esparza goes to decision, self-explanatory, and then Chris Cyborg, if she loses, I'd be shocked, first of all, but I do like Chris Cyborg. I do like that 3-leg parlay. I'm not one to do the 3-leggers. I usually keep it to 2, but I do think that has a pretty solid chance of hitting if Spencer does get it done. And how does Dumont win this fight? She's not going to finish Spencer. That's completely off the table. She survived 8 total rounds with Amanda Nunes and Chris Cyborg. So Dumont's not submitting her. Dumont's not knocking her out. Dumont, for her to win this fight, she's going to have to stuff takedowns, piece Spencer up on the feet, which is a possible, sure, but I do think Spencer gets us down to the mat and has a lot of success. So Spencer in that parlay, she'll be in my Hail Mary parlay as well. 8,700 on DraftKings. I actually like it. I think, with the new DraftKings scoring system of the wrestler grapplers, with the control time, all that good stuff, I do think it favors somebody in Spencer quite a bit. Not completely sure how owned she'll be. I'm about to do my ownership projections after I get off of here, but I couldn't imagine she's going to be that high owned. So yeah, don't hate Spencer's 8,700. As far as Dumont, not going to touch her. She's not going to finish Spencer. She's not going to take her down. So yeah, fading Dumont more than likely, but Spencer I like quite a bit. See here. Bellator, T Wood will be there soon. Yeah, more than likely. Must have a ton of Cyborg. Yeah, I have a Cyborg in a parlay. Felicia Spencer will sub Norma in round 1. I'm telling you, I can see it. I can see a sub in any round. The money coming in on Dumont, it spooked me. Yeah, it spooked me as well. Just did not make sense. Did Spencer look chubby and tired on the scales to you? She looked normal, like normal Spencer to me. But yeah, she's a thick girl for sure. I'm staying away from this one. Not the worst idea, but I do like I do like Spencer. Yeah, Spencer's takedown accuracy is 10%. We can't look at the numbers for that fight. It's 10% because she fought Nunes and Cyborg. So the numbers, you can't even look at them. Spencer and Hermansson both by sub in round 1 at 8,000, calling it. Junior's calling it there. That's extremely low, but yeah, I mean, that's because of the competition. She took down Farron. She was 1 for 2 on takedowns against Farron, and she was 1 for 2 on takedowns against Megan Anderson. She was 0 for 8 against Cyborg, which no shame in that. And then she was 0 for 7 against Nunez, which no shame in that. So out of fighters that are not named Nunez and Cyborg, her takedown accuracy is actually 50%. Spencer around 27% on DraftKings, not terrible. I don't know how true it is when they say the fights sell out, Brady. I literally bought 2 tickets from the UFC website the Thursday before last weekend, or fight last weekend. Interesting, yeah. Always see the tweets like, oh, they sold out in minutes, but I don't know. Hopefully they come to Ohio soon. That'd be sweet. Or Cleveland. Dumont versus Moraes. Dumont taken down 3 times and controlled for 7+ minutes. Yeah, I was not able to see that fight, but I did hear about it. I did hear about that, yeah. She was an underdog to a natural flyweight who was injured, stuffs her takedown, and now people think she can grapple with Spencer. Yeah, I don't see it. I do not see it. Don't pee. Gotta pee. Don't start the Tafa fight without me. All right, I'll give you about a minute. Dumont had a lot of hype before. Yeah, I remember Dumont calling out Amanda Nunez before the Megan Anderson fight, which is interesting. Beating Megan Anderson is a great statement to win. To have on her record means she beat the best of the best, or the best of the rest. Yeah, pretty much, man. Who's more likely to get Volante choked, Bennett or Tafa? Man, maybe probably Bennett, I guess, if I had to pick one. All right, so hopefully JP is back, because we're going to get to the people's main event here. We have Justin Tafa going against Jared Vandera. Interesting fight here. 2 heavyweights. Interesting line movement on this one. I think I'm the only one out there picking Jared Vandera, and I completely understand, man. The dude looked terrible in his last fight against Sergey Spivak, but he will not have to worry about Tafa taking him down, controlling him, stuff like that. He's gonna have to worry about Tafa knocking him out. But yeah, interesting line movement. Tafa opened up -185. The line has just stayed put all week. He's now -180. Nobody betting Tafa, really. Nobody putting him into his parlays. I'm not sure anybody's really betting Vandera even. And I completely agree. I would not bet this fight ever. But you take a look at Tafa. He's going to be the better striker. He's going to be much faster. Vandera actually has a pretty solid chin. So I could see this fight getting extended. But I just don't have the balls to bet an over 1.5, with these 2 guys, especially in a small cage. But the over could definitely be a good look. I know a lot of people are going to be on that. I think Vandera, if he does go to his wrestling, will have success. I've seen Tafa taken down by some really low-level competition and absolutely look like a fish out of water on his back. Vandera, believe it or not, he's a black belt in BJJ. Probably not a great black belt, but a black belt nonetheless. So if Vandera is able to get this fight down to the mat, I do think that's where the success will come, and that's kind of why I'm picking him, but I'm not betting it. Definitely not betting it, but I will pick him as a dog here. It should be a pretty close fight for as long as it lasts. Maybe Tafa knocks him out, but Vandera definitely has a chin on him, and I have seen weaknesses in the Tafa ground game. So would it be shocked if Vandera did not attempt a takedown? No, it wouldn't. Something's wrong with that guy, man. If you guys heard the interviews, man, something's not right with Vandera. Maybe that's just his personality, but seems like a cool dude. But something's not right there. But Vandera, if he does go for takedowns, I think he can have a lot of success. As far as DraftKings goes, 9,000 Tafa, 7,200 Vandera. Yeah, not terrible. I mean, they're heavyweights. Good chance of a finish either way. But it could also be one of those sloppy, boring, sweaty heavyweight fights where they just gas out in 2 minutes and then it goes to decision. It could be one of those, so be careful. But I'm gonna pick Vandera, just not betting it, and really don't even want to look at any props as well. Vandera by sub plus 1150, I guess is somewhat interesting. The dude's a black belt, has some submissions on his record, but even then probably doesn't hit. But I will take Vandera for the win, and I do actually like him a little bit on DraftKings at that price tag of 7,200. It's not terrible. Justin Tafa sucks. I got Vandera to take Tafa down. If he takes him down, I think, he can definitely win. Is sports betting legal in your state, Brady? Yes, it is. I currently live in PA, close to the border of PA and Ohio. I'm conflicted. I want to try and fit Dvorak, Ismagulov, and Bruno Silva into my DK lineup and sacrifice my 3 other slots. Yeah, that's a lot of salary there. Tafa will win this. Vandera is very low level. Yeah, I think both guys are very low level for sure. Tafa will win. Tafa is so green. Yeah, Tafa has like 6 fights. So Vandera definitely has the experience edge. Never seen a more stay-away fight in my life. I think Tafa has striking success from the outside, but honestly, I have no idea. Yeah, I think if it stays standing for 15 minutes, you got to favor Tafa, but I'm just curious to see what happens if this does hit the ground. Vandera shouldn't be fighting, dude. He seems like he got hit way too many times in the head. Yeah, definitely seems like it. We're talking about DraftKings. Vandera is a Walmart Brock Lesnar, something like that. The guy was so cringe waving at the weigh-ins. I was like, creep. Yeah. He seems disabled. Yeah, DK salaries. He was stupid enough to call out Sergey Spivak. That's how you know he's thick-headed. Yeah, shouldn't have called out Spivak. We were saying the same thing about Vandera versus Spivak. If Vandera can take him down, he could win. He couldn't do it, so I don't think he can against Tafa. I mean, I wasn't saying that. I don't know why he would take down Spivak, or he wouldn't be able to take down Spivak. Spivak's a good beast. Hard to predict what bums will do. Yeah, kind of a bum fight there. Font KO plus 170. I like it. Brady, UNPA, a Fox bet has Cyborg boost inside the distance minus 150. Parlay piece. Yeah, there you go. Even though I already parlayed her, but yeah. I won my biggest parlay while celebrating my anniversary in PA. There you go. I am from Erie, PA. Originally, you close. I'm around like the Monaca area, the Pittsburgh area. All right, so enough of that fight. Yeah, Spivak is a beast on the ground. That's his bread and butter, that wrestling, that ground game. All right, so we'll get into the co-main event here. Yeah, interesting co-main event. This is clearly a 50-50 fight. You have Jan, who is going to have, the better striking, the better output. I love her output. 7 significant strikes landed per minute for Jan, which is just insane. You have Esparza, who's a very good wrestler, very good with her takedowns. We have seen Jan taken down. We've seen her controlled at times. And yeah, flip a coin on this one. I see a lot of people betting this fight either way. I would not do that, but I think the value side's probably on Esparza, or at least it was. Like, Esparza opened up plus 160. She was around plus 150. Was not able to look into this fight at that point, but if I was, I would have probably pulled the trigger at the plus 150 where it's at now. Just a clear pass for me. I think the fight goes to decision is a solid parlay piece, and like I mentioned, I have the fight goes to decision parlayed with Cyborg, parlayed with Spencer as well with that 3-legger. But yeah, I think the fight goes to decision is a solid parlay piece. As far as picking a winner, I'll go with Jan because I think she's going to, land the more strikes, land the more, damaging shots. I think she's going to outland Esparza by a wide margin. It's just Esparza will take her down. She will control her. She'll do absolutely nothing with those takedowns. She'll land nothing. It's just up to what the judges are going to score. Are they going to score the strikes, the damage for Jan? Are they going to score Esparza's control time takedowns, doing nothing with them? And it kind of seems as of late, the judges are scoring more of the damage, the striking. They're not really scoring, when fighters are holding the other fighter down, doing nothing with that takedown. So I'll take Jan for that reason. If it went to plus money, I'd take a look, but this is a really big pass for me. But yeah, like I said, I do like the fight goes to decision. This is interesting here. So either fighter to win by decision is plus 150. So if you like Jan, plus 150 is not terrible for that decision prop. If you like Esparza, plus 150 is not terrible for the decision prop, but I'll pick Jan. As far as DraftKings goes, Jan on DraftKings, I'm going to fade. The output's intriguing, but I do think she's not going to get finished. I do think she's going to be on her back for, minutes of this fight. I'd rather play the Esparza side, but even then, this is a good fight to probably fade. Esparza, she interesting because she can get takedowns, control time. It's just she lands basically no strikes when she gets it. She's not going to get a finish, so probably a fight that does not find the optimal lineup. But I'll pick Jan for the win. But I would not be shocked if it was one of those fights where we probably thought Jan won, but the judges gave it to Esparza in a very close fight. Women's fights, and then Brady goes and does a 3 parlay full of them. Yeah, pretty crazy. I didn't even realize that. Yeah, 3-leg women's MMA parlay. But Cyborg's in it, and Cyborg, she always gets it done, unless she's fighting Nunez. I see the fight going one of two ways. Carla Wrestling or Jan stops the takedowns, going back and forth on this one. Yeah, flip a coin on it, I'd say. Jan by decision, plus 140, only way to look at it. Yeah, either fighter you like probably played that decision prop. Brady, sorry if this has been discussed. Couldn't believe that Jakagan decision. I never noticed how her strikes don't land until you pointed it out. Yeah, it's crazy. Talked a little bit about it on my Tuesday show on Pub Sports, but yeah, I thought Vivienne won. I thought she clearly won the second round. I didn't think that was up for debate. And then I thought she won the first round by landing, clearly the more damaging shots, the harder shots. But a judge gave Chukagan a 30-27, which really makes you think, like, what are they watching? What's up, Jay? What's up, gamblers? How you doing? Chukagan fight was disgusting, as are all Chukagan fights. What percentage would you give Jan of pulling off a Joanna like TKO? I don't know, maybe like a 20%. Pretty low outcome, I'd say. I'm sure Jan will win on my card, but I don't know, man. UFC refs are so bad, like Venata said. Yep, exactly. I'm not sure, but I actually prefer the dog. Unsure of this co-main event. I'm right there with you. Right there with you. I'm unsure on it as well. I think it can go either way. As far as it could be a sneaky 80-point play, I think if she does win, it's probably around the 80-point range. But will it be enough to land on the optimal lineup? I'm not sure. You read my mind on this one. This co-main has a judge's screwdriver and all over it. Past, like, yeah, if you bet the Jan side and Esparza wins, you're gonna say robbery. If you bet the Esparza side and Jan wins, you're gonna say robbery. It's gonna be a robbery either way. Completely agree with you. It completely depends what the judges feel like on this night. Yeah, I agree. Carla gets tired. Could see later finish. Maybe. Caitlin pieced up Vivienne. I'm sorry, it wasn't even close. Yeah, that third round wasn't close for sure. Caitlin did piece her up. Jan is winning easily. Yeah, if she can stuff the takedown, she will, but I don't know. What percentage of the fighters on this card deserve to be in the UFC? Let's be real. Yeah, there's a couple that probably don't deserve to be in the UFC. I think Ronderos is probably not yet UFC caliber. Vandera, probably not UFC caliber. Tafa, probably not UFC caliber. Barnett, not UFC caliber. Even like Court McGee, probably not UFC caliber at this point. Victor Rodriguez, probably not UFC caliber. And I'm not sure about Shahilan or Shah. Carla sniffs the ankles, or Jan plays patty cake. Yeah, either one. All right, so we'll get into the main event. Before we do so, I do want to shout out the sponsor, Pub Sports Radio. If you guys can go ahead over there, hit the sub button. They're going to be going live for the fights tomorrow at 4 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. They have live commentary, live betting, all that great stuff, and content throughout the week. I am live on there Tuesdays, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, talking some betting, talking some lines, talking some DFS, all that good stuff. Just hit 6K subscribers over there, so thank you guys for that. If you already have subscribed, that's awesome. Really do appreciate that. But we'll get into the main event here. Cindy says Carla by decision. Yeah, plus 150. Yeah, if you like Carla, decision's probably the way to look. Jan beats Carla the same way as she did Gadelia, outstrikes her, and if she gets taken down, pieces her up from the bottom. Yeah, I mean, like Marina Rodriguez almost won the fight against Esparza from her back. So yeah, maybe Jan could be active off her back, land some shots off her back. That's definitely possible. But yeah, close fight. But as far as the main event goes, Rob Font, Cody Garbrandt, and yeah, interested to see Cody Garbrandt. I heard, I forget, somebody messaged me today, was talking about Cody Garbrandt had COVID and it was like affecting him for months. And that's just not a great sign at all. And I don't know, just stylistically, like I like a lot of advantages in this fight for Rob Font. First of all, you're going to have that 6-inch reach advantage. I think that is huge in a fight where they're primarily going to stay standing. He's going to have a massive output advantage as well, lands more strikes per minute by a really decent margin against Cody Garbrandt. And then the last advantage I really like for Font is going to be that durability, and this is probably the number one. So Uncle Weezy pointed this out, didn't know this at the time. I knew he's never been knocked out, but, he's never been knocked down, Rob Font. In the UFC, in his career, he's never even been knocked down. And then we go to Cody Garbrandt, and the dude gets knocked out 3 times in his 3 losses. He's never lost by decision. He's never lost by submission. His 3 knockout losses, or 3 losses, are by knockout. So, yeah, when it comes down to durability, you got to favor Font. When it comes down to output, you got to favor Font. You got the reach advantage for Font as well. Cody's probably going to have that speed, but you got to think that the smaller cage does favor Font. And Cody Garbrandt, everybody's talking about that Cody Garbrandt, looked phenomenal in his last fight. I went back and watched that fight, and I don't know. You take a look at that fight against the Sun Tzu, and he lands 19 strikes. 19 strikes in 9 minutes and 59 seconds of fight time. And you got to think that can work against 39-year-old Sun Tzu. But is that going to work against someone as high output as Rob Font? I don't think so. I don't think Cody's just going to be able to, stick and move like that, throw virtually nothing. I mean, 19 strikes in 9 minutes and 59 seconds of fight time. Sun Tzu landed 17 strikes. So only 2 apart. Only 2 apart there. So, interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how Cody does approach his fight. Like, is he going to, have this much low volume? If at that point, I think Rob can just, out jab him, land the more volume. And if he does get into like a firefight, Rob probably knocks him out. So, yeah, I like Rob Font here quite a bit. I don't know. I think he can even win a decision here, honestly, just with the output. But for Cody to win, I think he probably is going to have to need a knockout here, and it's definitely possible. But like I said, Rob Font's never been knocked out, never been knocked down. Cody Garbrandt, has phenomenal power, so it's possible, but I don't know. I like Rob Font. I like him on DraftKings, 8,300. Going to have quite a bit of him. As far as Cody goes, I don't know if he comes out here like his last fight and just throws nothing. Like it's not gonna score well. Even in a Sun Tzu fight, I thought I was about to get a takedown. I had the perfect lineup going into that fight. I needed Cody to score well. He gets a second round knockout. I'm all excited. I look at his points and he scored like 80 points in a second round knockout, like 80 points. So yeah, I'm curious to see how Cody does approach his fight, but I do like Font here, and I do have a bet on him. So I got him at minus 118, not the best line in the world, but I do think he wins. Have 1 unit on it. You currently see him around the minus 110, minus 115. I think that's fine as well. Would have loved to get him as an underdog, but completely missed that boat. But that's fine. Fine with the minus 118 there. And then also have a half a unit on the knockout prop at plus 165. I even think there's plus 170 out there right now. I know FanDuel had plus 180. Not sure if that's still there anymore, but I do like the knockout prop as well. I think if Font wins, it probably is by that knockout. So yeah, give me Rob Font for the win there. Feeling pretty good about it. I really like the advantages. I pointed out the 3 main ones: the reach, the volume, and the durability. I think those are 3 huge points. But Cody has that fight-changing power, so we'll see. All right. Rob Font, 50-45 jabs off Cody's face. And if anybody wins by KO, it would be Font. I don't think, maybe. I don't know. 50-45 seems kind of crazy. You're a true pro, man. I always appreciate your content, but also your professionalism. Appreciate that, Justin. Thank you so much for all support, dude. COVID issues was before the Sun Tzu fight. Was it? No, I don't know. Somebody messaged me that today. I remember hearing about that, but yeah, said it took him like months to recover, which is crazy. Could he by KO? Yeah, if he does win, it is probably by KO plus 230. But like I said, he'll have to be the first one to knock out Font. What's up, Wesley? How you doing? What's up, Brady? Shake them haters off. Let's get into it. I think you meant, yeah. Gotta shake them off for sure. Agreed. I think Cody will KO Font. He's only lost to TJ and made a huge mistake against Munoz, but his calf was already dead. Yeah, it could happen. Duck and Haymaker, Garbrandt special. Yeah, that was sweet. I was pumped. LO, how many advantages do we need for Font? Place your bets, boys. At this price, it's a steal. Yeah, hindsight, it could be a steal for sure. Font for sure. If Cody didn't land that KO punch, I really would like to see how the fight ended versus the Sun Tzu. Yeah, me too. But we got to remember, Sun Tzu was 38 in that fight, right? Like he's up there. He's up there. Even then, Cody did not look all that impressive against him up until that knockout shot. People say calm Cody wins, but he never faced any adversity in the Sun Tzu fight. In every fight, he has been knocked out, and he was getting beat up before he got finished. Yeah, I don't know if calm Cody wins this fight. I don't know. Especially if the same Cody, that fought a Sun Tzu fights Font. I just don't think he wins that fight. What do you think about the over 2.5? Man, I don't know. You're going to be sweating it for sure. Not sure what the line is for that, but you'll be sweating it. Both these guys can crack. Rob's Font by second or third round KO. I like it. Who should I parlay Rothwell with? Claudia Silva, Damir Ismagulov. Fought inside the distance, probably KO. I'm with you there. Meet your brother. Let's get it, Brady. Let's get it. Love Rob Font here. He's got the durability, volume, going to take center control, and also very good defensively and a distance management. Jab as a lead as well. Rob's a problem, and he's going to prove it. Yeah, I like it as well. I mean, yeah, Cody's definitely a fan favorite. I'm a big Cody guy, especially, growing up in Ohio, but I think this is a really good fight for Rob Font. Gaming Wolf, thanks for the breakdowns. Keep it up. Appreciate that, Gaming Wolf. Ignore the haters. Yes, sir, you got to. But yeah, I definitely realized this week that there are a lot more supporters than haters. Like 99% supporters. There's that 1% of haters out there, but you got to ignore them. It's part of the prediction game. Everybody gets them. Brady, you got to collab with those dirty Canadians at Fight Night picks. maybe one day. I got some hate and heat after my prediction for NASCAR a few years ago. Oh, did you? That's not good. Font has never been knocked out, and Font has never been knocked down, which, I like it. But could Cody knock him out? Sure, he could, but it's never happened. Rob has an amazing skill set, but it's risky going against Cody. He outsmarted Cruz. Yeah, but that fight was years ago. He's taken a lot of damage since then. I think he has a better chin than Cody. Yes, Font does. Cruz has pillow hands. The fight overrated Cody so much. I got Font by first round KO. Yeah, Cruz isn't a finisher. This is going to be a straight-up boxing match, and the jab is going to be there all day to neutralize Cody's speed, and this should be a comfortable win for Font. I think Font does get it done as well. You are a great, Brady. You made us a ton of money. Appreciate that. Glad I can. Hopefully make some money this week as well. All right, so I'll quickly go through the bets. I'll do a betting breakdown video as well, but don't think I'll add any more action. I'm feeling pretty good with the bets I have. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bets. We'll start with the straight picks. Rob Font, minus 118, 1 unit. Kind of, blew the line mood on that one, but that's completely fine. I don't know. I thought the line was going to get a little bit wider, but looks like the pick'em's going to be where it's at. So minus 110 on Rob Font, I think it's pretty solid. And then also Rob Font wins by TKO KO plus 165, 0.5 units. And I do think there's some better lines on there as well. I think if Rob Font wins, it's probably by knockout. I could see a decision as well, but I think a knockout's likely. Court McGee, plus 100, 1 unit on it. Then my parlay, which is going to be the tied with the biggest play of the night for me. Bruno Silva parlay with Damir Ismagulov. Love the line I got here. Minus 162, 2 units on it. 2 of my favorite parlay pieces on the card, parlay together. And then Bruno Silva versus Victor Rodriguez fight doesn't go to decision. Minus 150, 1.5 units on it. Ben Rothwell wins inside the distance, plus 115, 1 unit on it. Like I said, if Rothwell does not finish this guy, he should pretty much take off his gloves, walk to the center of the cage, and just lay him there and just never come back again. So I do expect Rothwell to probably get it done over Chris Barnett inside the distance. You're taking a minus 400 heavyweight pretty much, plus money inside the distance prop. Got to take it. And then Jack Hermansson versus Edmund Shahbazian under 2.5 rounds, minus 165, 2 units on it, or tied with my biggest play of the night. Edmund early, Jack second, third round. I can see it hitting. I can see it hitting multiple ways. And then Yancy Medeiros versus Damir Hadzovich under 2.5 rounds, plus 140, 1 unit on it. Solid chance of a finish, or at least a better chance of a finish than that plus 140 indicates. I think that line is very off. It is correcting itself. I think it's now plus 100, plus 110. But yeah, that plus 140 does seem pretty off there. So I took a shot on that. But yeah. See, we got in the chat. Then we'll head out of here. Are you high on this card? Can you run down your most confident one more time? I was late. Yeah, probably most confident is going to be Damir Ismagulov, Bruno Silva. As far as a pick, I think Brent Rothwell's a comfortable pick there. I like the under 2.5. Fight doesn't get the decision in the Shahbazian fight. Esparza Jan fight goes to decisions, a comfortable piece for me. But yeah, I like the spots as well. I poked that like button. I agree. Do more breakdowns with Clint. Total Madness. Yeah, I might be. Maybe get Clint on my show one of these days on the Tuesday show for Pub Sports. That'd be sweet. You need to parlay Hermansson and Spencer both by sub at plus 800, 8,000. That's free money. Could be. Good luck, my man. Best of luck tomorrow. Enjoy the breakdown. Appreciate that, Phoenix. But yeah, guys, as always, appreciate the support. If you guys can hit the like button on your way out, that would be sweet. Betting breakdown video out early tomorrow. Live stream 1 hour prior to fight time. Really looking forward to this card. Really looking forward to making some money. Feeling pretty good about it. And yeah, good luck, guys. Let's make some money. If you're watching the Bellator card, enjoy it. I do have that parlay with Chris Cyborg involved, so hopefully she gets it done. And if she loses and you're watching tomorrow, don't make fun of me. No, just kidding. I think she'll get it done. I mean, she should. She's minus 3,000 at this point. But good luck, guys, and let's make some money tomorrow at UFC Vegas